Welcome to the Dollop. I, each week, Dave Anthony, tell a story from American history to my friend
Gareth Reynolds, who knows nothing about it.
God, you want to hit a dude?
I'll do one bottle.
People say this is funny?
Not Gary, Gareth.
Dave, okay.
Someone or something is tickling people.
Is it for fun?
And this is not going to become the Tickling Podcast.
Okay.
You are Queen Fakey of Made Up Town.
All hail Queen Shit of Liesville.
A bunch of religious virgins go to mingle
And do what?
pray.
Hi, Gary.
No.
Nicely done, my friend. Smallop.
Ay, man.
It's all right.
Yeah, but you think it was all right. That was
Terrible.
not good.
The day was September 27th, 1986.
Okay. Yeah.
The city was Cleveland.
Oh, no. We're back.
Home of the River on Fire and 10-cent beer night.
Oh, boy.
The event was Balloonfest.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Oh, Cleveland.
Oh, boy.
The city of Cleveland tried to set a world record. Not for the number of hugs in an hour or the highest human pyramid. No, they decided to set the world record for the largest number of balloons released. 2 million was what Cleveland was going for.
I can't wait to see how this gets fucked up.
Why would it get fucked up?
Yeah, because we're talking about
This
it.
could just be a happy story of balloons.
Don't think that it is.
Scores of people gathered in Cleveland's public square to see Balloonfest and the releasing of thousands of balloons. The $500,000 stunt began as a fundraiser for the United Way of Cleveland, but ended up being a colossal headache that disrupted everyday life, and worse. Much worse. The fundraiser had a chance to put Cleveland back on the map. Bustling a record for simultaneous release of balloons set the previous year by Anaheim, California, on the 30th anniversary of Disneyland.
Okay.
So Disneyland had done this already.
Cool.
Nothing happened, though.
Yeah,
They just went off. Those balloons. You didn't hear any stories about Anaheim.
exactly. So what's the
Sending
point?
into chaos.
Yeah.
Cleveland had cleaned up the tremendously and no longer wanted to be known as the dirty city where rivers caught on fire. Right? So they're trying to redo their image. They're like,
So they're probably not happy with the dollar.
we're past rivers on fire and filth, and there's no more 10-cent beer nights. Let's turn this shit around.
Let's let a lot of balloons into space.
Turn this shit around.
Okay.
The guy from United Way who dreamed up Balloonfest had been in marketing at Procter & Gamble and was trying to rebrand Cleveland as cool. What better way than with balloons?
Yep. It's a very cool thing to do.
It is super cool. The stunt was coordinated by Balloon Art, a Los Angeles-based company headed by Treb Heining, which spent 6 months preparing for it. A rectangular structure the size of a city block, measuring 250 feet by 150 feet and rising 3 stories high, covered with one piece of net of woven mesh material, was set up to hold the balloons.
That's a lot of fucking balloons.
Yeah. It was designed to withstand up to 90 mile per hour winds.
So
Which was-
they weren't going to cancel this no matter what.
Well, that was the building code, so I think they had to do it that way.
Jesus Christ.
Heining later had this to say. Cleveland Hopkins was far enough away so nobody expected any impact. They signed off on all our plans, as well as Cleveland Police and Fire. We never would have started if the plans had been nixed at any point. I knew it would impact auto traffic, so we designed a street closure and detour plan that worked. Planning ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure this plan went off without a hitch.
Planning ahead.
Yeah. Smart.
Inside the structure, 2,500 students and volunteers spent many hours filling balloons with helium. United Way originally... By the way, helium is not... It's a resource that you shouldn't just...
Yeah.
Helium's actually a limited resource.
Yes,
that you
helium
shouldn't just
and
fuck
almost
off.
almost running out.
Yeah.
And also it's just terrible. There's just no point to releasing balloons into our atmosphere.
Well, I mean, what about fun?
Yep. See? Like I said, no reason. No reason. None.
I want to look up something really quick. So they plan to release 2 million balloons.
2 million balloons.
But eventually stopped at 1.4 million.
Oh, God, I mean, okay. Nobody's going to give a fuck either way.
Why do you say that?
Because it's just a shitload of balloons, regardless, and nobody's going to give a shit anyway, because they're just balloons. It's like a fun 2 minutes. Like, that's what it is.
You're so underestimating this. So, children sold sponsorships to benefit the United Way at the price of $1 for every 2 balloons.
So wait, people were like buying...
I think, yeah.
Like you were like sponsoring a balloon.
Well, you like, a kid would like say, I'm going to blow up 100 balloons.
Oh, right. Right. It's like,
kid,
yeah,
the money would
okay.
go to the United Way.
Right,
So
okay.
it's a great way to...
No, totally a normal thing to be doing. Yep.
Project manager Tom Hollowatch had this to say. I was the project manager for the event. I worked on it for 6 months and lived in Cleveland for a month preparing for it. We had to design a structure that filled a city square and could stand up to the winds. The one-piece net was fabricated by the exact company I found in Southern California who built cargo nets for the space shuttle. So shit's real.
Shit sounds real.
Day of, they were a little worried about impending weather.
Oh, boy.
Rain, to be specific.
If it rains, you don't do it.
There are news reports of reporters talking to people running the Balloonfest about the possible weather problems. I actually watched a couple.
Oh, God.
The people putting it on knew the rain was coming the day before, and they didn't think it would be a problem.
How could you not think that rain could affect balloons?
Well, still, they did decide to release the balloons early.
Early before the rain.
But it did start raining right before they let them go.
I mean, you can't...
What?
You can't... I'm sorry. You cancel baseball games, or you have to change it based on weather.
How could balloons be affected by rain?
What are you fucking talking? Have you ever seen a wet balloon? That they're going to be affected.
The balloon release was scheduled...
I can't believe they're going to go through with it.
At 1:50 p.m. on a rainy, windy Saturday, it was nowhere near the ideal weather conditions to release helium balloons, as the northern winds blew the balloons in that direction and the rain pushed them down. So much so that they shut down a runway at Burke Lakefront Airport, blanketed Lake Erie, and coated the northern shores with deflated balloons.
So wait, they released the balloons, right?
Yeah.
And then they get rained on and wind blown everywhere all over the city, and there's 1,400,000 of them. 400,000 of them.
There's the way they released the balloons is they were like huge balloons,
right,
holding the big let's call it a tarp, the net in place. So they cut the big balloons, and then the whole tarp thing goes up, and then all the balloons
go up,
come out,
right?
And so the balloons look like this big multicolored dome, right? And then they came up and they completely obscure like this tower in Cleveland, so you can't see this giant building anymore. And they float up, and they're becoming specks in the clouds, and then they start coming back down.
Oh no.
Because the clouds have rain in them and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the idea that you could fuck up a balloon release is pretty crazy.
Well, for a while it looked amazing.
Oh, I'm sure for a while they were like, that was great. And then they were probably like, oh fuck me. No.
Photographers captured the event on film, and the images are unbelievable. Everyone, I'll put them up, but it looks really rad at first. Of course, the balloons collided with the cool air and the rain, and they dropped with force.
Oh, shit.
The balloons were not going to sail off into the distance. Instead, they clogged the land and waterways of Northeast Ohio.
Oh, boy.
In the days following the event, balloons were reported washing ashore on the Canadian side of Lake Erie. Burke Lakefront Airport was shut down for half hour after balloons landed there.
Can you imagine finding out your fucking flight is delayed for balloons? What? I'm sorry? There's a lot of balloons on the runway. There's what? On the what? What is it?
Did you say balloons?
On the runway?
Traffic accidents were reported as drivers swerved to avoid slow motion
balloons,
blizzards of multicolored orbs, or took their eyes off the road to gawk at the spectacle. People are like looking up at balloons.
I mean, it's just...
Oh my God, look at that.
I pictured Godzilla, but just balloons.
Balloons landing on a pasture in Mendina County, Ohio, spooked Louise Nakakowski's Arabian horses, which suffered permanent injuries as a result. She sued United Way of Cleveland for $100,000 in damages.
Okay.
And settled for undisclosed terms.
Okay.
So it hurt the balloons hurt
the horses.
Arabian horses.
And this great idea to release balloons into the environment is for sure going to cost them $100,000.
Yep.
So people probably were really happy with how this went.
By November, the balloon fallout had become international news. P. Allen Woodcliffe of Mopeth, Ontario, complained. A short time ago, I was walking along the east beach of one of the special nature areas in Ontario, Rondeau Provincial Park. I was greatly dismayed, however, when I saw balloons along the shore, not just one or two, but many. In an average 200-yard stretch along the beach, I counted 140 balloons.
Jesus.
In the same average distance along South Beach, there were at least 300. This translated into anywhere between 10,000 to 15,000 balloons scattered along the 8.5 miles of shoreline of Rondeau Park.
Which is supposed to be preserved. And now it's just full of dumb fucking balloons. Now it's just full of rubber.
These balloons, being made of plastic, are not readily biodegradable and thus will create an eyesore for some time to come, or else be an unnecessary and time-consuming expense for someone to clean up. They may also be hazards to wildlife, such as fowl, gulls, and terns.
Yeah.
The next year, a $3.5 million lawsuit was filed by Gail Broderick.
3.5. That's a big balloon suit.
Her husband was one of two fishermen who had gone out on September 26th in the boat on the lake.
Uh-huh.
The next day, the day of Balloonfest, they were reported missing by their families. Those running Balloonfest not only ignored the weather conditions, but also did not check with the Coast Guard to see if they had any emergencies on Lake Erie.
Oh, my God.
Rescuers spotted the 16-foot boat anchored west of Edgewater Park breakwall. A Coast Guard search and rescue helicopter crew had difficulties reaching the area because of the asteroid field of balloons.
Oh, my God.
On September 29th, 2 days after Balloonfest, the Coast Guard suspended the search because Coast Guard officials said balloons in the water made it impossible to see whether anyone was in the lake.
Oh, my God.
So they were trying to find a couple of dudes' heads, and they couldn't tell the difference between balloons and heads.
Oh, my God.
Because there's so many balloons in the lake that they were never going to find the guys.
I mean, balloons. Fucking balloons. What, like, a 4-year-old enjoys holding.
The fishermen's bodies washed ashore 2 weeks later. Gail Broderick settled for an undisclosed sum with both United Way and Balloon Art.
Balloon Art, it must be fucking pissed.
While the sight of 1.5 million balloons released was a sight to behold, the outcome was far from pleasant. A massive area was covered in balloons, leading to the death of the two men. Jesus. Floyd Riemenschneider wrote into the Cleveland Plain Dealer newspaper. The September 28th, the newspaper reported that the United Way in Cleveland released 1.5 million balloons in the air, some of which landed in Lake Erie and on an airport runway, shutting down the airport for a half hour or so. It seems to me the money spent for this stunt, $500,000, could have been used to much better advantage, seeing how most of the funds were probably from donations to people who believed the money was going to a good cause, such as helping out the more unfortunate, not on balloons. Okay, that's a really good fucking point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, also the idea that they were like, they're like, this is going to help Cleveland become turn into a place that people will, this won't hurt us. We'll release balloons and it'll help our clout as far as what we are. And then it ends up just being such a fucking shit show.
It's a total shit show. And then, did you ever watch WKRP in Cincinnati?
A little bit, yeah.
Do you remember an episode about a turkey drop?
No.
You don't?
No, I didn't. I mean, I've watched on reruns a little bit.
So there was an episode that they basically, I believe, took from this.
Oh, really?
I might be wrong, but the quote is, "As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly." So they arranged to have live turkeys dropped from helicopter as an advertising stunt. Unfortunately, this turned out to be a serious miscalculation. Wow. The poor birds plunged to earth, never even having a chance. So they pushed turkeys out of helicopter and they just fell. In 1994, there was a profile in the paper on George Fraser. By the early 1890s, he left Procter & Gamble for a 3-year stint as Director of Marketing and Communications for United Way Services of Cleveland. The period was marked by an incident Fraser calls his greatest success and his biggest failure, Balloonfest 86.
How could he call it his greatest success?
I don't know.
What is he?
He killed 2 people.
Like, admit that you fucked it all up. It was not a great success. You fucking fucked it. You let balloons go in a fucking rainstorm. I mean, it's just... Can you imagine doing all that shit and then still being like, fuck it, let them go. Like, you just want it over. You need it to get out there. You can't postpone it.
No, you can't postpone it.
Get them up there.
How can you postpone it?
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do?
We would not do a balloon launch ever again.
Really?
Says Jenna Snyder, spokeswoman for United Way. We've learned a lot in the last 25 years.
I'd love to hear some other lessons, because that one sounds pretty fucking basic.
So,
we pissed in the wind and got wet. We can't figure out how.
Cleveland is completely insane.
Yes.
And
do I get to see some balloons?
Yeah, I'm going to show you some balloons now. Dun-dun-dun-dun. See, there's the dome.
Oh my
of balloons.
God.
Like, that's fucking amazing, right?
That's so many balloons.
Before they went.
That is so many fucking balloons.
And then there they go.
Oh my God.
That's rad looking.
That's great.
I'll put that up on the Facebook page.
No, that looks that looks like a fun explosion.
It looks fucking awesome. It's just crazy balloons.
Okay, yeah. Looking good.
Yeah, so I don't know what your problem is with this.
Well, I think it's when
So
looks lovely.
Look.
I'd love to see some some
bad ones?
Some pictures of people who got into collisions based on fucking balloons.
How about that one?
Oh my God.
So what we're looking at is a picture of balloons.
Oh
it's
my God.
It's the lake. I think it's Lake Erie, right?
And
it's a guy in a boat, and there are some people who have picked some balloons out of the water on the boat, but the entire fucking lake is covered in fucking balloons.
And the Coast Guard thing now just makes so much fucking sense.
If you're looking for a body or a head...
I mean, that looks like a packed beach.
So those fishermen could have been swimming around.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, what the fuck is happening?
Oh, no.
I didn't say send balloons. This is what they do now?
Oh, God. Like, as they're over you, just waving while you're in a world of balloons? Yeah. Well, good job, Cleveland. That was great.
Cleveland, you won again.
Unbelievable. Unfucking believable.
There you go.
Good. Well, congratulations to the United Way, Cleveland. Yeah, Balloonfest is awesome. Yeah. I feel like if we could only get Rainbow Man to make Balloonfest, that would be just perfect. Yeah, get them together.
Yeah, that'd be nice. All right.
All right.
That's a Smallop.
Thank you.
I love you.
I'm sorry?